In all the real deal way. I'm going to share with you the research, the data, what kind of got me just really enthused about this info because these are literally the best health topics, best pearls, best nuggets, biggest needle movers. I'm all about the biggest bang for the buck. And as you know, most of the things I share and that I teach and that I love to share with you about are things that you can do starting today, starting now, starting this evening. Like you can do this, you can add this to your toolbox, literally start doing these things, and they will make big results in your life. They're small things, but when done repeatedly, will have big results. So here's what we don't need, right? Here in the healthcare sort of nutrition research, lifestyle, all the things. Here's what we don't need. We don't need more noise. There's tons of noise out there. There's lots of folks talking about this and that and this diet. No, it's that diet. No, it's carnivore. It's vegan. It's omnivore. It's the fast mimicking diet. It's all these different things. And I'm here to share with you the simple, the true, the evidence-based, the biggest movers of 2025. And here's the thing. Tip number one, you can't underestimate the power of your cardiovascular health. This was something that I learned several years back. In fact, it was even in a recent book by a buddy of mine, Peter Attia, just a great guy who, physician like me, recognizes the importance of cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory fitness. And there's this thing called VO2 max, and it literally can be predictive of your lifespan. The better your VO2 max, which is kind of the better shape you're in cardiovascularly, will predict a good, long, and I would say full, vibrant, and a vital life. Because when your VO2 max is up there, you can do anything. You can conquer the world. You can run upstairs. You can run downstairs. You can run up the hill. You can play catch with your kids. You can literally do like I do and surf and mountain bike and rock climb all in one day and still be in my 52nd year of life, have the energy that I did at 20 years old. And that's because of this thing, cardio respiratory fitness. It cannot be underestimated. And the recent reviews of 2025 showed that this now has over 20 million person years of data to basically show and prove that this measure is legit. It is predictive of your lifespan. And it is something you cannot forget about, cannot underestimate. This was a recent article that came in the journal Cardiorespiratory Fitness, which was 2024 by J.J. Lang. And I'll just read you a brief little bit in it. And it was actually in the Journal of Sports Medicine from Great Britain, the British Journal of Sports Medicine. It's entitled Cardiorespiratory Fitness is a strong and consistent, I would say, very consistent predictor of morbidity and mortality among adults. And this was an overview of over 20.9 million observations from about 200 unique cohort studies. And their conclusion was exactly what I shared. They reviewed 9,000 papers and 26 different reviews. And they said, absolutely, this is something that is irrefutable. Cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory health is literally predictive of your lifespan, but I would say also your health span and also the level at which you can enjoy and participate in life. Like you want to be vital, you want to be enthusiastic, energized, energetic, have that chutzpah, as some may say, that energy to do what you want to do and to not be left out, not be feeling like you got to stop doing things because of some certain number of birthdays or times or laps around the sun, if you will. So here's what you got to do. Simple stuff. I love simple zone 2 cardio. That's that cardio that you do with brisk walking, where you are a little bit out of breath. You can kind of hold a little bit of a brief conversation, but you're kind of panting a little bit out of breath. Your heart rate might be between 120 and 150, depending on your age. And it's not exhaustive. It's not like sprinting, but it's a good pace. It's a good clip, as my wife would say. And this I do every single day, minimum 30 minutes a day. I do it 7 days a week because why not? Why wouldn't you want to move your body? My favorite thing to do, especially in the year 2025, was to go for a walk, 10 minutes or more after every single meal. I usually do about 15. I did that today. It was 10 degrees outside, so cold, yet it was vital. It was energizing. It was amazing. I actually did it in my board shorts because why not? Like the sun was out. Why not soak up a little vitamin D at the same time? I know I'm a little crazy, but I'm cool with that. I was out there walking for 15 minutes after my lunch today, just beautiful bluebird skies. We just got a foot of snow. It was amazing. It was 10 degrees, but I was loving it. I was moving. I was ripping. It was it's 9,000 feet where we are. And the air's thin, but it's amazing. It's vitalizing, invigorating. And after doing that, I'm like, frick, yeah, I got the juice to do this podcast with you because it's one of my favorite things. And so don't underestimate the power of simple walking. Do it after every meal. That's kind of my biggest takeaway for this year is the 10 minutes after every meal, which would be 30 minutes a day. It's actually more powerful than 30 minutes done continuously on a daily basis. This was proven and shown in Science. The journal Science was one of the premier health journals out there, and the data was overwhelming. I mean, if you can do 30 minutes at a time, go for it. But if you can't, like me, I rarely have 30 minutes. I just go for a 30-minute walk. I'll just do 10 minutes or 15 minutes after every meal. I do that 3 times a day. That's like 45 minutes of zone 2 cardio each and every day. And you will be on your way to being energized, to increasing your VO2 max. If you can throw down 2 days a week where you're doing some intervals, whether it be a sprint here and there, or go to like one of those classes at Orange Theory. My wife loves those classes, and I've done them with her. They are banger classes. They're awesome, and they get your heart rate up. They get you into that sprint. You do that regular pace, and then you do your increased pace, and it is so fun. It's energizing, and it will increase your VO2 max and increase your lifespan, and more importantly, your health span and how you just feel every single day. So minimum 150 minutes a week of zone 2. If you can do up to 300 minutes a week, which honestly, it's not really that hard. I mean, it's literally like an hour, less than an hour a day. It's like 40 minutes a day. And you can do this, like I said, in 15 minutes after each and every meal. Like, why the heck not? Like, legit, you do that each and every day. You do 15 minutes after meals. That's 45 minutes a day. You do that 7 days a week. That's already 315 minutes of zone 2 cardio, and you didn't even hardly notice you missed anything because you did it in association with the meal. If you're like me, eat 3 meals a day, that's 15 minutes after every meal. Like, don't jump on your phone, don't check your email, leave that thing down, go for a quick walk, and it will increase the quality of your life, your health span, your longevity, your vitality, your energy, all the things. My favorite thing to do. That's why I put it as health tip number one for the year 2025. Number two is also a close second in my mind. One of my favorite things, which is build and protect your muscle mass. Your muscle is literally the organ of longevity because it's not just how long you live, but I would say your muscle determines how well you live because your muscle mass is literally that thing that is the secret ingredient to your vitality, to your movement, to your enjoyment of life. You increase your muscle mass, you increase your pleasure in every way. You can do more things, you can be more energized. It's literally your metabolic. Gabrielle Lyon calls it the metabolic sink. I think many other enthusiasts have called it that as well because it literally works for you even when you're doing nothing. Like your metabolic activity on account of your muscle mass is working for you even while you sleep. Like, holy crap, like who knew you could burn calories while you sleep? Well, you can if you increase your muscle mass. So important. It's literally the organ of longevity. There's more and more data on this now. And I would say minimum recommendation is 2 days a week. I would say 3 is super easy to do. Like I'm doing this. I don't even have a home gym really. I got a weight bench, a bunch of free weights all over the place, including at the base of my desk where I'm podcasting to you. I got them in my hands now. I'm kind of jumping around with my weights in my hands. Do a little body weight too, do a little air squat, do a little quick burpee, or what I love, a quick plank for a couple of minutes. Like this stuff is so simple. If you do 2 to 3 days, why not shoot for 3? It's a new year now. 3 days of weight training, or what we'd like to call now in vogue, right? The term is resistance training. It's just good old fashioned weightlifting. Do some weights 3 days a week. I promise you won't regret it. Do complex movements. Do the things like I just said. Do squats, do hinges, pushes, pulls. Like get a pull-up bar. Do some those push-up grip bars. Like so many different options out there. So easy. You don't even need a gym membership. Like I love to teach people what they can do without a gym membership. It's amazing. Lift something heavy a couple days a week and aim for a gram per day of protein per pound of lean muscle mass. So for me, I'm 150 of lean muscle mass. So I shoot for 150 grams of protein each and every day. So important. The leucine threshold, you may have heard of that. It's how you can build muscle. You got to hit that minimum requirement of leucine. That's going to be typically with about 30 grams or more each and every meal. Because this is the organ of longevity. Your muscle mass is that special organ. This is your metabolic currency. It's your hormone stabilizing tissue. It's your fall protection as you age. Like, trust me, as a physician of nearly 20, actually 25, more than 25 years already, this is something that I've been very appreciative of as I've seen people in all walks of life lose their muscle mass, and it's not pretty. Then they start to fall, they start to break bones, they decline rapidly. And the one thing that's the game changer for all of this is simply preserving, maintaining, and growing your muscle mass. Like, you can still grow it even in your 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Like, if you've ever heard of the gal Joan, I forget her last name, but Train with Joan is her Instagram handle. I don't think she even started to lift weights till like 70. And I think she's approaching 80 now, and she's put on 10, 20 pounds of muscle, and she is more active, more vital than she ever was her whole life. And she is crushing it. You can do this too. I've done this. I put on 10 pounds of lean muscle in the last 10 years, and I'm working on more. I'm trying to put on more because it is the organ of longevity. It gives me the energy, the animo, the chutzpah, the vitality, and you cannot underestimate the power of your muscle. So that's tip number two. Tip number three is kind of a given, and it's something I've talked about over the years, and it's in my book all over the place. And there's been a lot of data on this. This is the ultra processed foods that sadly we incorporate way too often in our diet. The sad American diet, right? The standard American diet, which is very sad, incorporates over 60, almost 70% of our nutrients, or I should say our caloric intake, comes from ultra processed food. That's anything in a bag, a box, or with a barcode that we pick up at the store that's packaged, because these are prepackaged ultra processed foods, and they are not our friends. They are inflammatory. They will Have you ever heard of the term inflammaging? Well, this is literally caused by ultra processed foods, which cause significant inflammation in our body. If you haven't checked your CRP, you're highly sensitive. CRP, HSCRP lately, make sure you get a look under the hood. It's New Year's. Hey, it's the time to do this stuff. If you need help, you need some labs done, I have a special accelerator program that I pay for the labs. Like, we'll do a full lab panel, metabolic panel, all the things, so you can get started on the right foot. We'll put a plan together for you. Like, I would love to guide you along with this. But here's the thing. Not only have we known that ultra processed food is inflammatory, but it is aging, as I said. But here's the thing, new research just this year actually showed, this was Babiola from 2025, ultra processed foods are associated with increased risks, hear this out, of cardiovascular disease and premature death. The impact of ultra processed food, this came out just this year, June of 2025. And it should be no surprise that this is not awesome, right? The ultra processed foods are inflammatory. They are not awesome for any reason, and they're highly caloric, but very depleted in nutrition. So we are calorically overfed, but we are very much undernourished. And so our brains think, holy crap, we got to keep eating. These ultra processed foods are literally designed that way on purpose. So we'll eat more of them. They're nutritionally deficient, but calorically over the top, tons of calories, which is why we have a increasing weight problem here in the US and increasing type 2 diabetes problem, because we are eating way more calories than we need, but way undernourishing ourselves. And that's why we tend to eat so many calories, because our brains think, I'm not seeing the nutrition. I still need to get the nutrition. I still need to get the nutrition. I got to eat more. I got to eat more, because the foods we're eating are literally devoid, don't have much nutrition. So our brain thinks we got to eat more of them. We're hungry all the time. The ultra processed foods are designed that way. They literally have food scientists that help them to design these in such a way that your body craves them, that it wants more of them, right? The chips that you can't eat just once. So here's the recent study said that for every 10% increase in ultra processed food intake, it can raise your risk of death, cardiovascular and cancer death, by over 12%. So it's not even 1 to 1, it's 1 to 1.25. In other words, it's even worse than what you would think. It raises your risk of premature death, cardiovascular disease, cancer, every 10% increase in ultra processed foods. This just came out this year, June of 2025. There's also some follow-up from the trials that built on Kevin Hall's data from 2019 that confirmed that ultra processed foods can drive, big surprise, just like I shared, ultra and excess calories and weight gain, because of what I said. They are depleted of nutrients. They are super palatable, and they are something we crave, and our body just goes, where's the nutrients? Where's the nutrients? I got to eat more. I got to eat more. I got to eat more. And so we do eat more, and we overindulge and we get overweight and we're still deficient in nutrients. They're highly palatable. We eat more of it and the crunch our body craves and we go bananas, we go berserk and we don't get the nourishment that we need. And so this was actually shown by the folks from Nature, which is also one of the highest regarded, I would say, scientific journals of our day. This was S.J. Dicken in 2025. Ultra processed diets cause excess calorie intake and weight gain. Just what I shared, like big surprise. Well, not so big. It's kind of obvious, right? When you eat nutrient deficient foods, you eat more of them. So here's that simple needle mover stuff. Make 90% or more of your diet real, whole, single ingredient food. That ultra processed category, which is anything with a label, in a box, in a bag, with a barcode, make that 10% or less. Like I get it. Sometimes you're on the run. I am too. And I occasionally have some go-to somewhat processed foods. I have like a beef stick that I take when I'm traveling, nuts and things like that, occasionally a protein bar, stuff like that, that'll carry with me if I just need to quick dip in some protein and I don't want to eat the really processed crap like the fast foods and the greasy, fried foods, which are, oh my gosh, they are devastating to our bodies. Talk about the wreckers of not only our gut, the causes of inflammation. I mean, the highly processed seed oils, when you fry stuff in them, like talk about oxidizing and inflammatory, like they're among the worst. So make 90%. I mean, you don't have to be perfect. There's no perfect. Just try to do 90% or the majority of whole foods, real whole foods, single ingredient stuff. And this one shift will literally change the trajectory of your life, like for decades and decades to come. Not only will you feel so much better, you'll be less inflamed, you'll have the energy, you won't be craving the junk, your gut will change when you eat real foods. Like I can't even start to share all of the benefits. I mean, read my book, Preventable: Five Powerful Practices to Avoid Disease and Build Unshakable Health. It'll detail all this out simply. And I even throw in ideas of how you can get those real whole foods, make them fun, right? Make the snack foods fun. Have a handful of nuts, maybe even some nuts and dark chocolate, maybe some berries. Like it doesn't have to be boring. Like there's so many amazing foods out there that are real whole single ingredient and we're not accessing them and they're available and they're simple and they're easy and it is not more expensive to eat healthy. And I would say actually over the test of time, it is way less expensive to eat healthy because as we eat healthier, we'll spend less on our healthcare. We'll spend less on trying to fix the things that get broken when we eat the sad diet, the standard American crappy ultra processed food diet. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, one of my favorites, one of those I've talked about ad nauseum, which is sleep. Make it your superpower because it's not to be underestimated. You cannot wait, like my buddy The Cure, right? The Cure 413 Dream or whatever that album was that said sleep when you're dead. Like you can't wait to sleep until you're dead. You can't do it. In fact, if you do, you'll die sooner. Like that's the science. This is one of the horsemen. This is one of the things that Peter Attia talks about. Sleep, it'll literally make you dumb. You'll get dementia quicker. You'll die sooner. Like you cannot shortchange your sleep. Like read Matthew Walker's stuff, one of the sleep experts of the world from Stanford. Like you can't undervalue, underappreciate your sleep, or you will for sure die younger and I would say less happy because when you're asleep, when you're rested, when you're getting in your 7 to 8 to 9 hours in the cot, whatever that is for you, like you feel better. It is amazing. In fact, there was a recent review that I'll share with you by Shen et al., and it is called Nighttime Sleep Duration, 24-hour sleep duration and risk of all-cause mortality. And as sleep went down, your mortality went up. Not that surprising, right? I mean, literally, as you slept less, you died sooner of nearly everything from heart disease to cancer. And the sweet spot for the minimum requirement was between 7 and 8 hours a night. I personally shoot for 8. I usually get 7 and a half. And this 2025 study I wanted to share with you by Park et al., entitled The Impact of Sleep Health on Cardiovascular and All-Cause Mortality in the General Population, said sleep is predictive of long-term health. And so this is where they found the sweet spot between between 7 and 8 hours in about 10,000 adults that they studied between the ages of 40 and 69. And they basically stated that in women, it was very interesting that they showed that they tended to need, around 8 hours, the men around 7 hours. And when you had significantly less than that, everything went up to the negative. You died sooner, you had more heart disease, you had more cancer. They basically said sleep is essential. It influences inflammation, metabolic profiles, cardiovascular disease, mortality. And these were endpoints that affected everything and simply were tied in to your sleep. Like it was so simple. So I would say aim to 7 to 9 hours, get it consistently, make it a routine, make it a habit, get some morning light. Like your circadian rhythm is critical, crucial, primordial, and simple. Get out in the morning light each and every day. It's not hard. I would guard that first few minutes of the day as it is the setup for an amazing day. Like get outside in the first hour upon awakening, see that morning light, take a brief walk, get some sunshine. If you're in a place where you can slip your shoes off, do some grounding. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot think of a better way to do this. Sleep is one of the fastest ways to improve almost every biomarker that you care about. And so, number one, you got to get a look under the hood. You got to test and not guess. And I'll promise you that sleep may be that great equalizer. It's one of the things that I've noted in many patients and clients I've worked with over the years that they're doing just about everything right. They're eating right, they're exercising, they're weight training, they're doing all the things. They have a whole foods diet, and they're still gaining weight, or they're not able to lose that additional 10 pounds they're trying to lose around the midsection, or they're inflamed, they have aching joints, they just don't feel amazing, they don't have the energy they wish they had. And the one thing that they don't have consistently is that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So when they optimize, when they prioritize that, everything changes. Their hormones get better, their weight gets better, their energy gets better, their animo, their desire, their mood gets better. Like so many things. I mean, ask my wife how I am when I don't get much sleep. I'm a little bit of a grouch, like that Grinch dude that you guys were watching the shows about this past week. Like I'm a little bit like that when I don't get my sleep. And trust me, I've been 30 years appreciating the sleep thing and not getting enough. In the last decade, I've really put a lot of attention, emphasis, and prioritizing that for myself because it's made a huge difference. I mean, I was a borderline diabetic when I was only sleeping 6 hours a night or 4 to 6 hours a night, usually 5 to 6 hours. But I had an elevated fasting blood sugar around 100 or so. My inflammatory markers were up. My CRP was up. My fasting insulin was up. And it was just my sleep that needed to be adjusted. I was getting plenty of activity, plenty of weight training, like fitness through the roof, but my sleep was suffering and it made my whole body suffer. So don't shortchange your sleep. All right, tip number 5, movement. You got to hit the movement minimum, right? Stand more, sit less. The guidelines haven't really changed much, but the emphasis is that it's so much more important now than ever to just add the daily movement. However you can get it. I do a lot of my work from a standing desk, like I'm talking to you right now, standing because sitting, like why? Like just move, move. If you're standing, you're fidgeting a little bit more, you're moving a little bit more, you're circulating your blood a little bit more. And so the minimum requirement here of movement is 150 minutes per week. We talked about that already with the zone 2 cardio, but I would say increase that. Why not do 300 minutes per week? And you can do that 15 minutes after every meal, zone 2 cardio, brisk walk, and you already got 300 and some odd minutes of movement a week. Like it doesn't have to be difficult. Then add 2 to 3 days of strength training and just break things up. Like every hour, have a movement snack. You got to, change the rhythm, change the pace, put on two of your favorite songs. That's like 6 minutes or something. Each song is average about 3 minutes each, and just do a little dance party, do a little movement, do a little air squats, do some planks, do some quick burpees or whatever. I like to do push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, all the things. And I just do it, break it up throughout the day. That's why I literally have weights at the base of my desk so I can just grab them every 45, 50 minutes or so. And so it's even these short bursts of energy, what I like to call the movement snacks, that will make the biggest difference in your day, your energy, your focus, your clarity, your mental abilities, capabilities, your memory. Oh, you just got to interrupt that pattern of sitting. Like they said now, a couple of years ago, it got real popular in vogue to say sitting is the new smoking. Well, I would just say, switch that out, swap that out with standing is the new health. I don't know, panacea. Like just start standing more, moving more, doing more of the motion. Motion is lotion, as my physical therapist friends say. You just got to keep moving. The quicker you stop moving, the quicker you go down the drain. You got to just keep moving. Like use the stairs, not the elevator, for example. Just make it a habit, make it a routine. Move more. I promise you won't regret it. Minimum 8,000 steps per day, but why not shoot for 10, 12, 15? Like if you're doing your 45 minutes a day of zone 2 cardio with your 15 minutes after every meal, like I guarantee you'll hit 10,000 plus steps every single day and you will feel amazing. Don't shortchange yourself. Movement is the best medicine. All right, tip number 6, you got to guard your metabolic health like your life depends on it, your metabolic health. Because guess what? It does. Poor metabolic health, the insulin resistance, the visceral fat, the elevated blood sugar, It's a shared root of all disease. It's literally at the cause of nearly every disease, cardiovascular disease, cancer, dementia, all the things. The base of that is poor metabolic health, which is sadly on the rise here in this country. We know that 90% of Americans right now today are not metabolically healthy. These are things measured as with a fasting insulin, for example, a highly sensitive CRP, these kinds of things. You've got to get a look under the hood, test, don't guess. And you don't need to have a diabetes diagnosis to be worried. Like I shared with you a few years back, I was a borderline diabetic based upon my lack of sleep. I was testing about 100, 105 was my fasting blood sugar. That's too high. That's literally borderline diabetes. My A1C was over 6. Now it's down to about 5.3, 5.4. And the biggest change I did was value, appreciate, and prioritize my sleep. So here's the thing. You got to get a look. Number one, you got to check these things, got to get a look under the hood. If you need somebody to guide you through it, help you get this work done, reach out to me, Dr. Thomas Hemingway on Instagram or thomashemingway.com, Thomas Hemingway MD on Facebook. I'd love to get you the essential labs. I do a big panel of what I call the integrative and functional labs. We look at the fasting insulin, we look at the highly sensitive CRP, we look at the cholesterol profiles, but the big package. We look at not only how many of each you got, but the particle size. So if you have an HDL, which is elevated like my own, which is above 100, like who cares if most of them are the fat or the big fluffy, I should say, the big fluffy LDLs, and they're just floating around, bouncing off the walls. They're not getting stuck. They're not getting lodged in the arteries. If you have the right makeup and you don't have very many small, dense LDLs, which I do not, and most of mine are the larger profile, I don't have to worry. And my CRP is less than 1. Like I don't have to worry about cardiovascular disease. In fact, I just got a scan done about 2 weeks ago, which showed I basically got zero risk for cardiovascular disease. I mean, I don't have any plaque. I don't have any of the calcium deposits because of my attention to detail, this one simple thing, your metabolic health. And you got to get the markers done. You got to get the full panel of the cholesterol markers. You got to get the insulin done. You got to get the highly sensitive CRP. You got to take a look at these things because you can't guess. You got to test, don't guess. And so reach out, find somebody who can help you through this. If you need help, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. But your metabolic health is the key to not only feeling great, but your longevity. So that's tip number 6. Guard your metabolic health as if your life depended on it, because it does. Tip number 7, here we go. Support your gut microbiome, your microbiota. In fact, the back half of my book, Preventable 5 Powerful Practices to Avoid Disease and Build Unshakable Health, talks about gut health. Yeah, gut health is a real thing. It's not just made up. It's literally a real thing. I did not learn it in medical school 30 years ago, but now they're starting to teach it at certain medical schools. And it is awesome because it is primordial, foundational. Literally, Hippocrates said years ago, all health begins, well, he actually said all disease begins in the gut. I say all health begins in the gut because it is where you can change your life in a matter of weeks as far as your inflammation can go way down when you decrease your ultra processed foods, you increase your fiber intake, your real whole foods diet. Get your gut healthy, which focuses on those good microbiota, I should say. And it is so critical, key, and important. And throw in some fun stuff, the fermented foods, right? The kimchi, as I'm about to go partake of. I'm heading out to Hawaii this week, and the kimchi is my friend. I love, love, love the fermented foods. So many of them out there. There's literally thousands to pick from. Like add one new thing into your diet each and every week. Reduce the amount of ultra processed foods, the big 3, right? The highly processed sugars, the highly processed seed oils, the highly processed grains and flours, but increase the amount of real whole foods and fermented foods and get your gut healthy. Don't go 0 to 70. Like literally right now in the US, most Americans eat less than 30 grams of fiber, which is not good, but don't go to 60 overnight. Don't go from 0 to 60 grams of fiber. You're going to get bloated. Your gut's going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm never doing this again. Don't go to 0 to a giant plate of Brussels sprouts. Like I love Brussels sprouts, but I've been eating this way for 10 years. And I love it. And I love the fiber. I'm getting 60, 70 grams of fiber per day, usually through tons of veggies. Like I love, love, love veggies, but start small, add 5, 10 grams per day until you're getting up to, around 50, 60 grams of fiber a day, and you're going to crush life. You're going to be so much healthier. Your cholesterol numbers will be so much better. You'll lose weight. You'll increase your health of your microbiota, which will increase the diversity. They'll be doing stuff for you like producing vitamins, like producing other fun stuff, like the happy hormone, right? Serotonin is produced 90% of it in your gut. as well as so many other happy hormones. They can literally change your personality when you change your gut. They've literally cured disease, things like hardcore stuff like schizophrenia, bipolar, when you change your diet and change your gut health. Like this is real, real stuff. It's science. If you need to read about it, you haven't heard about it, read my book, Preventable. It's all there. And don't underestimate the power of your gut because Dr. Hemingway says all health begins in the gut, right? All health begins in the gut. It was said 2,000 years ago by Hippocrates that all disease begins in the gut, which is also true, but why not that all health start in the gut? So here's the thing. Tip number 8, hormesis. This is the stress that doesn't kill you but makes you stronger. This is the fun stuff I love, like sauna, the heat therapy, cold plunging, all this kind of stuff. I like sauna better because the data backs it and it just feels awesome. Like, who doesn't like sauna? I had my mom over for dinner last night and she was like glowing. She has incorporated sauna 6 out of 7 days for like 6 months straight and has been a game changer in her life, her fitness overall, her ability to be clear and just have energy. The thing that she told me, which I didn't know in her particular case, she just shared it with me last night, was that, I mean, I've known she has chronic ankle pain. She had horrendous fall a couple of decades back and lots of hardware in her ankle. She had some of it removed. She has tremendous ankle pain and she was having trouble walking. And what happened was over time, she actually found that with the sauna, her joint pain went away. It literally went away. Her joint pain went away and went away completely. And it was something that she hadn't predicted. It was something that she couldn't have she couldn't have predicted on the past. It was one of those things that she just had no idea how it was even happening. But over the course of the 6 months, there was, I think, 1 or 2 times that she found that she missed a day and her ankle pain started to happen. It started to happen, and she was like, what is going on here? What is happening? She couldn't believe this thing. It was like, it just came out of the blue. And then what she decided to do, she's like, oh my gosh, I missed sauna. Like sauna was the thing. It was the game changer. It was literally the one thing that she missed a couple of days of, and her joint pain started. So not only does it help you feel amazing, but it also, big surprise, it literally decreases your inflammation. It improves nearly every marker. It's kind of like free exercise. Like sauna is awesome. It's just one of my favorite things. Um, it's it shouldn't be underestimated. Like it's available. Get a gym membership. I personally don't own a sauna. I tried one for a while and we had it in our garage and our garage was just too cold to get this thing up to speed. It took hours to heat it. So we had to ditch that idea and we may end up getting a real small one, just throw it in the house someplace. That's what my mom's got. And it's been a game changer in her life. I just use sauna every time I can. We do have a hot tub I jump into. I crank it up to 104 and I spend about 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day there, and it's amazing. I love it. But heat has tremendous benefits. It's the most well studied. The Finnish can share their data with you. I mean, it's all over the internet. It's available. It is game changing. It literally improves your cardiovascular risk. It decreases your cancer risk, decreases your inflammation. It's just awesome. So that's number 8. One of my top tips, it's hormesis. So make sure you incorporate a little bit of hormesis into your life, whether that be sauna, whether it be cold plunging. Um, yeah, it's awesome, awesome stuff. So here's the thing. We talked about metabolic health. We talked about one of my favorite things to do, which is your increase your muscle mass, your cardiovascular health, which is really a representation of your mitochondria. What I haven't talked about yet is one of my other favorite S's. I have this thing called the S4 protocol. And if you haven't heard about that, message me. I'll send you a free webinar training that I did on my S4 protocol and has the most important just strengths that will optimize your life, your energy, your diet. And one of my favorite things is optimizing the S I call stress. Make stress optimization a daily skill. Remember, stress is not the enemy. And in the same way that the environmental hormesis can improve your overall health, that's the stress that doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. That's things like the cold, the heat, that sort of thing. But also optimizing the stress that we get all the time, every day, maybe more some years than other. I know my wife and I just had a tremendous 18 months with lots of illness in the family. Like one of our kids was diagnosed with a life-threatening thing, and it was crazy. Like another kid was diagnosed with a crazy thing as well. Like three of our kids were having some major struggles. We had just lots of different things that came at us from all different directions. We had other illness in the family, my parents, and other things that were just going bananas. And we learned to breathe. Like breath work, I never made fun of it. Like I always appreciated it, Wim Hof and the like. I would do some of it. I never really have been much of a meditator because I just haven't figured out how to sit still for that long. I'd rather go for a walk in nature and do my meditation in a walk without my phone and just eyes open and just walking and appreciating and that sort of thing, gratitude. But I have learned to breathe, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I just do the simple box breathing approach. I do that 2 minutes at a time, a couple times a day, or anytime I feel like I need to have a quick reset. If I'm having a little stressful moment, I do a daddy or an adult timeout. And I go to the bathroom, I flip the lid down, I just sit on it like a chair, and I spend 2 minutes, close my eyes, put my hand over my heart, and do some deep breathing. And it has been a game changer. I also wear one of these smart watches that tells me my heart rate variability. If you've never measured that, it's super interesting. But what I've learned is you can adjust this in a moment. When you change your breath, literally you can go from a hyped out, like full on sympathetic fight or flight, just nerves going bananas. And 2 minutes later, your parasympathetic can be like, chill. Hey, Thomas, nobody's dying here. It's all good. The sun came up today. It's freaking amazing. Can you believe it? You're on a planet that has the appropriate amount of oxygen and it's sunny today. You got family around you who loves you. Like, yeah, the crap's hitting the fan, but so what? It's okay. It's an amazing day. You woke up. Like, dude, what a gift. I woke up today. Like a couple minutes of deep breathing and gratitude, game changer for me. That's tip number 9. And tip number 10, I've kind of talked about this a little bit throughout this podcast. You got to test and not guess. 2025 has been a year of precision health. Forget about the trends. Like you got to do the work. You got to look under the hood. If you need guidance there, like look me up, Dr. Thomas Hemingway, Instagram, Thomas Hemingway, MD, Facebook, ThomasHemingway.com. Reach out to me. I'd love to share with you what I do protocol wise. What are the labs that I check both on myself? I just got my labs checked I think it was the fourth time this year. And also, I just had my whole body scanned a couple of weeks ago, and my wife is getting hers done this next week. Like, we're in our 50s. I'm in my 52nd year of life. She's just a couple of years behind me. And you got to test. Don't just guess. Like, life's too important. Life's short. Like, optimize the odds and make them in your favor. And you've got this. The tests are available. I can guide you through it. You got to get the advanced lipid markers, like we talked about. You got to get the advanced metabolic profiles. You got to know your body composition. You got to know the hormones. Like you got to look under the hood. You cannot guess this stuff. Especially, I would say, if you're 35 and over, man or woman, you got to take a deep look under the hood with your hormones. Like there is so much you need to know. You cannot guess this stuff. Right now, present day perimenopause is starting right around age 40, plus or minus a couple of years. Dudes, andropause is starting even earlier. Like your T is going down in your 30s. Like, holy crap. I didn't appreciate this until a few years ago. And now I've optimized my hormones and I've been working on helping many others optimize theirs, men and women. And the results have been profound, not only for more energy, more vitality, chutzpah, drive, just zest for life, but literally sleeping better, feeling better, getting rid of the stubborn weight. Like the hormones are what makes you feel amazing or what makes you feel not yourself. And these tend to be changing anytime after about 35 years old for a dude and right around upper 30s, low 40s for a woman. Like this thing called perimenopause is the real deal. It can last 8 to 10 years. Like it is something you should not underestimate. And the cool news is we can look at this. We can take a look under the hood. In fact, I'm doing an upcoming free webinar on hormones, like why you don't feel like yourself anymore. It's not you, you're not broken. Your hormones are shifting, but you can optimize it. You can change it. You can change it quickly. I have a special 12-week program I can run you through where you can get optimized. Like this is stuff that we have the data. I use bioidentical hormones. That's the approach I use because that's what's been, I think, proven time and time again. And why not use the real stuff? Why use some synthetic crap that was made, in a pharmaceutical lab when you can use the real thing, real bioidentical hormones? And I don't call it BHRT like many call it bioidentical hormone replacement. This is hormone optimization. We don't just want to replace, we want to optimize. We want to get you at your best, feeling your best, and for the years, the duration. Like this isn't just about a day, week, or a month, or a couple of years. Like you want to feel your best for the rest of your days. Why not? This is what I can help you with. Remember, you got to take a look under the hood, test, and do not guess. So if you need help with that, reach out to me, Dr. Thomas Hemingway, thomashemingway.com, Thomas Hemingway MD on Facebook. I'd love to share with you what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, I just want to thank you for being here. This is what I love to do. You are the reason I'm doing it year after year. Remember, the biggest lesson I could share with you from 2025 is information alone is not power. There's tons of information out there, tons of data. I share tons of it with you, but if you're doing nothing with it, what's it doing for you? Like you gotta make some action. You got to get a guide. You got to get somebody that knows the path. I would love to guide you through that. I would love to help you get your labs done, get your hormones checked, like do whatever it is you got to do to get to your best optimal health where you are feeling like you did in your 20s. Why not? I'm feeling as good as I did in my 20s. Heck, I got four teenage boys, one turning 20, and I'm keeping up with them in every single way in my 50s. It's possible. I know how to do it. I can show you the way. And remember, all health begins with your next decision. It starts now, 2026. Yeah, let's do this. We welcome it. I'd love to see you January 22nd through 25th in sunny San Diego at the Hard Rock Hotel. Reach out to me. I'll give you the info. I'll even send you a link for a discount. Like, I'd love to see you there. I'd love to give you a hug. I'd love to know what's on your mind. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be the best year ever. And it starts today. One decision, one change, one thing. Do it repeatedly. It will have big, big results. So information is not power. It's the right action applied consistently and with the guidance of somebody who's been there that'll make the difference in your life. And until next time, thank you, mahalo, and a big aloha.